Good morning. I'm Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters, and welcome to VapeAM. You know, if I'm laughing, then we made a mistake and we started over. Today, we're going to talk about the Wormhole RDA from VapeFly, and that's it. The Wormhole RDA from VapeFly today. I'm not a big fan, and we're going to talk about it. Yeah. Good morning and welcome to VapeAM. I'm Eli Juicy Jones. I made a mistake earlier and I couldn't find this thing. And so if they're here on the live show, you got to participate in a big foible and it's really fun. But if you're watching on the replay, unfortunately, you missed me starting the show off and saying hello and everything and then looking for this RDA and not being able to find it. So I actually love mornings like this because it's really fun. That just reminds me that this is VapeAM and this is a show about regular human people. You know, our 3rd anniversary is coming up soon. And I started this channel 3 years ago with the Instagram Juicy Jones HQ, just to be a regular person like you, and for you and I to grow together and learn together at vaping. And that's exactly what's happened. Longtime viewers know that I used to be a fool who didn't know anything, although I was pretty good and good with my hands. But I've been lucky to have had so many good friends and family here on the Vape channel, and some of our great friends that I've met, like iJoy, for example, who's here. And this is great. I'm just so excited to see all y'all. So anyway, we're having a giveaway coming up soon. I got 11 iJoy tanks from the VapeCon that were used as judging samples that I put in the ultrasonic. We have new coils for all those. I put those all together into stacks and stacks. I'll put them on the camera. And we are going to give all these away, along with bottles for each one of these of Strawlin and a nicotine of your choice from Van Gogh Vapes. Strawlin and one more bottle. I forgot what the other flavor is. Oh, Van Gogh Chill. So Van Gogh Vapes is including a bottle of Strawlin, a bottle of Django Chill, and the Nick Salt of your choice in all the flavors for 10 lucky winners. That's going to be cool. Hey Green Chronic, hey iJoy, hey Michaela, hey Ed, hey Pat, Michaela, Adam. Hey, that's Adam Hill. That's great to see you. Old Vape Guy Gary, Leighton's Life. Good to see you. It's great to see everybody. Neil, Jason, everybody. So this is the VapeFly Wormhole. I gotta say that overall, I'm not the biggest fan of this RDA. This is a 24 millimeter RDA with a clamp style deck. It's actually sort of like a regular style deck with clamps instead of post holes and screws. 25 millimeters, but it's real wobbly and has lots of parts, and it features a bottom, center, and outside airflow. So the outside of the box is pretty nice. This has got good packaging. I've never had a problem with anything VapeFly sent me as far as, you know, just the packaging for this stuff. I want to remind everybody that Heaven Gifts sent this, and so thank you to Heaven Gifts. Oh man, I have the iJoy wand logo on again. I meant to turn off that overlay, sorry. Sorry about that. I had the overlay turned off on the other one. See, I'm incompetent. I'm totally incompetent. This is a notched box. It comes with the RDA, which we'll take a quick look at. Just the insides before we go any further. But they include the full package. It has coils, which we may as well install. And those are little trackies with some cotton. 510 adapter. The extra airflow, which I'll explain how the inside airflow works here in a second. That's an adapter for a single. It comes with extra plates, which these things fall out really easy. Extra O-rings, which you're going to need because they fall out, and a 510 adapter, which is a nice perk. It's good to have a 510 adapter. But you'll see in a few minutes why this thing has got good flavor, but it's just too fussy. There's honestly no point in most of the stuff that's going on here. Let's get down a little closer. I'm not above moving the camera mid-broadcast. This thing has got a number of parts on it. I'll have to adjust the focus for y'all, because that's what I want to do to make sure that you can see it and it doesn't look all funny. So this thing has a good look. Sorry, it's a little bit dirty on the bottom because I've been using this for a while. And this thing isn't a tidy one. It does have a wide squonking hole, but that thing is really hard to unscrew. You'll notice that it's like a Phillips head. If you don't use a Phillips head, it's tough, but it's still shallow even for a Phillips head. And so that's kind of a tool that doesn't really work for anything. And so I'm not a huge fan of that. You'll notice that there's pieces of O-ring sticking out here. That's because this thing shreds its own O-rings constantly. It's just part of the way it works, is to shred its own O-rings. Wow. Lol, I Joy USA just said Tao won't get up that early. I wanted to shout out to Tao real quick and just, here's a thing. This right here is one of my favorite mods. And the fam and people in the audience and out there in Vapeland are starting to get these in their hands. And I tell you, they're really cool. They're just really useful mods. So anyway, everyone's been real happy with them so far. We all know the problems with them. Yes, they need a different dial, but still it's cool. So this thing has a single and a double feature here. You can see that there's 2 air holes here, and then there's also air holes on the bottom in addition. There's an 810 on top with a big fancy gold O-ringed adapter. But look at how many parts this is. It's like there's a part, and then here's the 810 that comes out of that, more O-rings. This thing is always weeping and leaking and rocking apart, and if you hit it, it rocks. There's no point ever when you can ever put this in your pocket because all these parts are so wobbly and leaky. See all the e-liquid in there? I haven't vaped this. I mean, I opened it and wiped it off and then put it back together, and then it just re-leaked. So anyway, so you know, this thing is so messy. And this O-ring comes off really easy. You'll notice how it's twisted already. All the O-rings twist and come loose, and the one to get it off the actual atomizer is almost impossible. So look how many parts that is. Just the top is 3 parts right there. It's ridiculous. So here, let's get this off here. And the easiest way to get them off is to turn them with the threads, of course. But look, just pieces of O-rings come off. I've already replaced this top O-ring, and it always gets shredded. Look, it's completely shredded. This thing, when it works, and when it doesn't, it's an absolute nightmare. And I can see the O-rings just need to be reset. But I do this all the time. It isn't that I haven't done it. It's that I do it, and then it resets them, and they retwist. And when they twist, they catch when you put them on the top, and it's just a total pain. It also has a super duper deep deck, which you guys know that I hate deep decks. I absolutely detest deep decks. Why is that deck so deep? It is like so amazingly, fantastically, incredibly deep. The idea of a big well on a squonking RDA is silly. That makes no sense. Longtime viewers will know that we like science here. Science and actual information. And you do not need that at all. So, I tell you what I've done is I don't have any tools. You'd think for building I would have tools. And here they are. We're gonna grab a few little basics. My embroidery scissors, which I already had on the desk, it looks like. And some clippers and a few other things. Put aside. And I want to show you guys. I use Texas Tough Juicy Wicks. I'm sorry, it's called Tough Wicks now. It's hard for me to say the new brand in my head because I've been using this so long. Juicy Wicks is my stuff. It's the best. I swear, if you start using this stuff, you'll never want to switch. It's really great. Oh. And things just slide around inside of them. And so they're awful. Let's use Phillips or Grubbs. I think I know why they do this, because it takes the least amount of metal off the top. But look at this contraption they've devised. Like, I don't mind clamp systems, but the deck on this thing is just kind of silly. This raises up these things and lowers them. but you can also pull it all the way completely out and accidentally, that'll just fly out. I mean, this is just a silly, and this one has never worked well. I mean, look at that. I can push it down, but when I come to pull it up, the little screw in there like doesn't want to catch, or it won't pull all the way up. So this one's limited to that height right there. This one. And I can't imagine that your copy of this is going to be made any better than this. The overall fit and finish of this atomizer is pretty low. It has a cool idea here. This is the side airflow that comes in from the side. You were wondering on the cap why there were 3 airflow holes on the cap, and these line up with a single airflow, or how much airflow you want and which side you want it to be on. Basically, you set that on there, and then you can adjust it. And depending on the reason there's 3 is that if your single's over here and if your single's over there, you can still adjust this airflow if you choose to use it. And you can take off this bracket on the top, again using silly flathead screws that just screw around and make everyone look awkward, and they're just difficult. Look, see, it's sliding out. I mean, flathead screws are fucking asinine. Make no sense. They're just they make no sense. No argument for them. Okay, and you can pull this little guy off, and there's your airflow. So you can pull that out of there, and you'll get full airflow out of this, or put the little restrictor in. And I'll pop up the focus just a little bit so that you can see this a little closer. And that's just a little restrictor. That there's one for the single, and if you remember in the bag, there was one that was closed on one side with some holes here for the double, or for the single rather. And this is your positive and negative post system. That's a big airflow, and you see how it's scooped or scalloped in the middle to push the airflow. The airflow is very good on this, and large airflow is absolutely great. It's absolutely full airflow. We're going to put a build on this, and you see that's a giant airflow going right in there. That manifold is big. I have a little piece of cotton stuck in there, don't I? Let's see. You know what? I couldn't see this in person, but I can see it. I can see it here, but there's like a little piece of wire. That's a little piece of steel that's off the machining. That's just sloppy machining. That's actually a piece of metal from the inside. So you see what I mean about fit and finish? That's just spare metal. And I can't especially get that out of there. I have dental tools. I'm making progress. So one of these days, a piece of metal is going to come out of this thing. I'm just not that happy with that. Maybe a few more times in the ultrasonic will fix it. Super duper deep well, absolutely no reason. This needs to be as short as possible up to a certain point. It needs to be right over the double O-ring. It makes no sense to put that extra space in there. All you have is dead, filthy cotton. Big mistake. Okay. I'm just going to take a toot on I'm vaping on the purple kind of Letizia. Oh, I've got the blue one in here. Yeah. Okay. So let's get a build on this thing. Let's do it E. I'll try to do this while we're close, all together. All together close here. We're going to put their nichrome 80. It's 2440 times 2 inside. I'm not using their Muji, although I appreciate them sending it. But I am using their coils. Why not? And I really don't like post systems that much. These are nichrome 80s, so they're going to be nice and soft, so it'll be easy to set. But here in this post, you kind of tilt it on its side, and then you cram the coil through it. These are hairy on the end. Need to trim some of that off. Can't find a hole. I can't find a hole. Never heard that. There we go. And as you can see, remember I was telling you that this one's broken and it doesn't want to open up all the way? Well, that's the problem we're having. And it's pushing back on that wire. There we are, we're in. So typically what I always do on these is just press them up and then tighten them. With nichrome especially because it's slightly springier, which is nice. Oh, but don't forget, this is one of those builds where you have to put them both in at the same time. I'm really not a fan of this deck. I don't usually vape coils like this either because I don't like tracks. I guess these are actually braided, so let me just take that back. I do like these. But post where you share holes I've never liked. Because of this, you just have to make this dumb maneuver. Oops, sorry, we're a little off center. And Cracker Coils is saying it looks cool, but he'd only be able to run singles with his. I know, this is ridiculous. I hate this deck. And look at what I'm going to have to do to it. I mean, all of you who are already builders know what I'm going to have to do to this. And you know the reason why I'm not worried about this looking messy or weird is that, just so you guys know who maybe aren't as experienced, everybody who's experienced knows that it's messy. And there's wire sticking out everywhere and you look all weird. I remember one time I posted like a triple build I did on my Velocity. No, it was a quad build I did on my Velocity. And some people gave me shit for like what it looked like or whatever. And I remember noticing, I went to their feeds and it wasn't like just one kind of person, but I will say that they were definitely more pretentious, if you know what I mean, because real builders know that it isn't always Instagram beauties and perfect. It takes a lot of work to get all that stuff perfectly, like alcohol swabs and stuff like that. So here on VapeAM, Orbital Vaping Headquarters, you just see the real thing. It's the real deal, G. Having said that, I am incompetent and sloppy. And busy looking at the camera too. Okay, here we go. All right. And thanks, James, for reminding me to tell everybody to remember to thumbs up and share these videos. Really appreciate it. Okay. So we're looking pretty good. I've got them real high. You see they're above the air holes. You can certainly place them anywhere you want. I can mash them more towards the middle. And we're going to do okay. We're at the point now where we need to get it onto a build. And here's where another one of the problems shines from this thing is that this thing doesn't have an easy way to grip it. So it's real tough to get off. I'm not kidding. It's all slippery and there we go. I got it loose. And that's just from working on it. I'm just going to clean up a few of these little metal shards. These little things are a bleach if you don't get them out of here quick. Oh boy. Maybe just a few more. Yeah, tiny metal shards. No. Always straight to the trash. All right. So now we need to get this onto a mod. I'm going to use my captain. Because... Oh, no. Yeah, I am going to use the captain, actually. But look what has batteries in it. This is what it was on last night. I didn't think I had batteries in here. There. Since I have the squonk pin in, we're going to move a little further up. Sorry about the shaking. Yeah. You see, the squonk comes out of the middle. Even if you take the air off, you must put this pin back in. Remember that. I prefer it with the air restrictor on. In fact, why can't I just put it on? You can just take my word for it. The air is fully huge air if you want it. I don't vape that way. But here we have a flathead, trying to do the flathead, putting a flathead screw into a blind hole dance. I hate flatheads. All right, so we're done. On the single, there'll be one. Here, there's two. You see how it sort of moves the air around. Oops. And just unscrewing that made the coil move like crazy, and it's nichrome, so it's soft. So it's absolutely impossible to unscrew this thing sometimes without ruining your build. And you'll notice that there's so much well in there. There's just no reason for having a well that deep. I want to say it for the 4th time. It makes absolutely no sense to have a well that deep. Thank you, Tough Wicks. Now we're going to take an amount of Tough Wicks. And I forgot how big these coils are. I didn't measure them, so I'm just going to take 1 strand. Get back in here, split that up into 2. And it's nichrome, so it's soft, so I pull on it gently. I tell y'all, you just do not need that much space in the bottom of your well. It is not an RTA. The mechanism for getting the cotton up into the coil is much slower in an RDA, so it makes more sense to burn it up quicker and replenish with a squonk than try to pretend like, oh, I can brag about 10 hits every time. I mean, that's just not relevant. The point is that you will mechanically, no matter how many hits you have, in a system like this that has a big deep well that's so far away from the cotton, you will mechanically simply have rotten cotton sitting at the bottom. What happens? You look at it, it's just a thing that happens. I'm going to keep a lot of this on here, and the reason is that with a design like this, if you don't put enough cotton in the bottom, it sloshes around and leaks out. So you can either have it rotten or sloshing around constantly, leaking out. And I don't like rotten cotton. That's my thing. Not a fan. I'm using my flat dental tool. It's easy to get under the coils with this thing. And there is just... yeah, the cotton does not... you're not sucking the liquid up out of the bottom. There's a chance it may not ever come fully up out of the bottom. It depends on a lot of factors. And you can do so many things to make it easy, but you can also do things to make it hard. Michaela said, read your comments and pulse the coils. I don't need to read my comments, but I do need to pulse the coils. Okay. What are these? 0.14. I always forget to do that. Now we're going to go back down to about 50 watts because you just don't need any more than that. And these feel like slightly cheapies. Gonna cool them off. They're not doing too bad. They're super soft. Slow ramp up time is nice with nichrome. Okay. When the cotton comes in out of the squonker, there's no reason for it to be falling all the way to the bottom and then waiting for it to come up the cotton into the coil. It's better just to saturate the coil. And then, oh, look, it broke. Oh, it didn't break, it came out. What the hell? Oh, I hate this deck. Repeat with me. Does anyone else but me hate this deck? It is like, shit like this happens all the time with this. This happens with flat coils where you have to share the post with another one. So what I'm going to do is take my tweezers and stuff, unscrew that a little more. I mean, I'm usually pretty nice about this stuff, but there's just certain items that irritate me that we've gotten. And you don't have to search far through the archives to find them. But this is a good lesson for us. I mean, remember, you just got to remember to keep your posts super tight. Always got to tighten them, and then retighten them, and tighten them, and retighten them. I was just in the middle of a cycle there. Glad it didn't break. They're not that bad. Okay. Go to 1, 2, 1, 2. They're doing okay. That one got a little shorter, unfortunately. Okay, it's going to be all right. Yeah, soft wire plus crappy deck. That's a bad formula, James says. Okay. We're just ironing it out. You'll see that the coils are a little bit warm, and it has a nice effect of ironing out the cotton a little bit. Turn this. I'm going to hope I can get 2 runs through this. I'm guessing not, but hey, that's luck. Oh, it worked. Okay. So, embroidery scissors. Thank you, Ginger. No affiliation. Oh. That looks good. Also looks pretty good. Taking a little flatty. I'm taking care to maintain that C shape, just so that the cotton touches into the bottom. I really want it to be touching ends in the bottom in this one and not separated, like actually just enough to touch the bottom, because there will be extra crap in this. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. And what flavor is in this? Oh, that smells like Strawlin. That is Strawlin from Van Gogh Vapes, which shouldn't have to open one of. There it is. Don't forget we're giving away a bunch of this stuff for my anniversary. And so we've built it. I can show you the squawk action, which is terrible. Yeah, you see how it just fills it up. I mean, it's just going to take forever for that to work. That's like the slowest possible way to do that. Once your coils are working and they're primed and you got everything going well, you don't need to wait for all that, because then their surface tension will be broken and you can drip right on top of them. I'm just saturating the top part here. And then the rest of that is just going to be sort of like dead cotton. I mean, it will move up slowly over time, but never in a satisfying way. It's just too deep. So now that this is all built out, we're going to go up and look and see how the cap and all that nonsense fits on. So, there we go. Notice how on the side, You have 3 holes, and on the side you can choose one. We have a dual coil, so we're going to use the middle of the 3 and get it down on here. This is where the O-rings die. I mean, I tell you, I've done this a million times, and you sort of get this on here once, and then you're sad, and you have to get it off again. The O-rings died. And it just doesn't feel like it matters how many times I replace this or straighten them out or untangle them or whatever. It feels like it is just always hell on earth to deal with this thing. Now we have to go to the struggle view. It's the struggle view. Got it on. Got it on. Firm, even top-down pressure finally did the ticket. So I'll just need a towel now to clean up that huge mess. You get a free mess the first time, but the thing is, this isn't the first time. I built this so many times, and God, it's just messy. There we have it. So now that you have it on there, you just have to find the O-rings or find the hole. If I weren't afraid to take it off, it'd be easy. There it is. And then you have all the air holes up here. Look at that mess. This thing just won't be cleaned. It refuses. I'm always cleaning this thing off and wiping off juice and stuff from all these surfaces that catch it. It has so many places for juice to catch and then seep the fuck out. And look, the O-ring on there loves to come off. I lost that before the show. I was like, oh great, I have to have more proof of this thing. Okay, finally we can vape this thing. Answer, flavor's great. No question. Flavor's fine. Got no complaints. This is about a 0.16. I'm going to about 110 watts. Not 120, 110. Thank you. Yeah. Huge clouds, huge flavor. No question. I'm not faulting this thing on good flavor. I don't want anyone to think that I think this thing doesn't taste good. It definitely has good taste. I just don't think that's the only thing you can have because I'm a flavor chaser only. And a lot of RDAs have great taste, but no RDA is as hard to work on this month than that one. Oh my God. I'm like beyond myself annoyed with having to work on this thing. So once I'm vaping, it's okay, but it's not portable. This thing's not going anywhere with me. I mean, it just like drips and leaks and just, you know, with my Cali, I can even my Pulse, which is weepy, but my Cali, when I'm on the go, it's not making a big mess. This thing, oh, I mean, occasionally out of the air holes, there'll be a little teardrop, and I'm like, oh, what? But this, oh my God, every one of these little surfaces, this one, this one, this one, that one, that one, and that one, they all seep fluid out of them. So, nope. The deck is dumb. I hate clamp decks. Unless you're the goon, get out of my house. And is there an exception to that? There may be an exception to that, but I still don't like clamp decks. There's a couple I do like, is what I'm getting at. And this ain't one of them. There's a couple of clamp decks I like, and this ain't one of them. So, I don't want to say too much, except thanks to Heaven Gifts for sending that thing for me to hate. And thanks to all of you for watching this thing. Stick around. We're going to do a live hangout. I got a little bit of channel news. Let's see. The Vape Expo USA is November 9th. We're going to be there with iJoy and Vape Aloha e-liquids, which is going to be awesome, and I can't wait to do that. And Spaces at Premium, we may just end up standing around, you know, just helping people. Doesn't matter. We're going to try to do a build table. Rob's trying to come. Brady's trying to come. Joe and I'll be there. Can't wait. And our friends from iJoy, obviously, thanks for hosting us there, and it's going to be really fun. Hopefully we can still do that. Everything isn't completely dialed in, so there's a chance we won't, but write that in your diary. I finally got some more Tough Wicks. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. Thank you so much, Tough Wicks, for sending this stuff. Geez, after the West Coast Vape Expo, we ran completely out doing all that stuff at the build table, and it was kind of fun doing that. We're doing a mesh coil roundup here pretty soon. I've ordered a whole bunch of mesh stuff, and I asked Aspire to send the newest mesh coil that they came up with for the Cleto Pro, which I should have the Cleto Pro on my desk, but I don't. I was vaping it this morning. What did I do with that? Love the Cleto Pro, but there's a new mesh coil for that. There's a mesh coil for the Diamond, which you guys have all tried, and well, a bunch of you have tried, and I sure like. This is my favorite iJoy coil of all time, and so we're gonna do a roundup. It's gonna be cool. Also, iJoy announced a pod system, so check that out. I did an Instagram post, but go to iJoy USA and iJoy Global. You can see their new pod system. I'm gonna get one of those ASAP and put some Nick salts in it and start talking about it. And I just have a list here of the stuff I don't like about the wormhole. So anyway, stick around for the after show right here. Don't go away. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you so much for watching this thing. If you want, you can hang out with the replay and chat like anyone else. Make sure you click like and subscribe. I'm Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters, and thank you for watching VapeAM. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks. Hello, hello. Okay, that's cool. We have like at least 15 minutes to hang out. I'm so glad. Thanks for hanging out. What'd you guys think of the wormhole? I see a lot of you are like, eh. Thanks for all the reminders. Can you believe how bad that opener was? I cannot wait to get back in here and edit this video and get rid of that beginning part because it was so embarrassing having to walk around. Isn't that funny? I wish I could download it first and then edit it. I think I could do that. That's so funny. Oh, iJoy's still here. That's great. Ed's still here. Esteban Mario, Filmogenio, Vaping Vixens, great to see you. Cracker Coils, great to see you. Mike, really nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. It's hangout time. So yeah, this thing, I cannot wait to get this thing off my desk. I'm so tired of this thing. So weepy. Let's go through the retirement process here. I'm going to take this apart and we're going to put it in the ultrasonic. I'm not even going to vape it for the after show. I'm sorry, VapeFly. It's nothing personal. You guys know how it is. This one's just a fail. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. And then after the show, I will put it in the ultrasonic. Clean. Ultrasonic. Michaela, it's a waste of good cotton. That's so true. Ed, off to the shelf of shame. That's exactly right. You got that right, buddy. I have a little hall of shame up there. Yeah, I generally don't. I enjoy saying it shouldn't take that much work to put wire in there. And yeah, I agree. This is a contentious issue. You know, like some people don't mind dealing with clamp decks and stuff. And like, for example, on the Goon, you know, I'm there on the Goon. World class, etc., blah, blah, blah. I don't do it a lot. A lot of people swear by it. But if you do a clamp deck, it better be freaking good. Like the Cheetah 2. The Cheetah 2 has a big, easy to use clamp deck. How about that? They just didn't get it with this one. And will it come off? No. It's so, look at those coils. It's so hard to get off. Damn. Cloth. It just has to destroy the build. Ow. See, it just does not want to come off. God, I hate this thing. Ugh. Finally, it loosened up. This thing is the worst. Jeez. Now, there we go. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Looks okay, I guess. Really don't like this thing. That's what I'm really vaping on today. Bing! But you guys have these. These are killer. Look, these coils are, I guess these coils are about a week old now. Obviously the wand isn't a squonk, but I love this thing. Yum. This is the SRDA from iJoy. I'm not just kissing your butts. I just really like this thing. People are always asking me for good budget options, and this is a freaking killer budget option. They cost, I mean, they are so cheap. They do not cost a lot of money, and they come in a million colors. I think a lot of people aren't that into the SRDA because they feel like it's kind of like it's not a real RDA or something. And you know, maybe that's true. You don't have to trim the wires, but I tell you, as far as somebody doing that right, basically right about something with replaceable coils that's a plain RDA, they did, because the flavor is on top. That's the first thing. It has good flavor, you can tell. Yeah. And all you have to do is re-wick it. I think that re-wicking it maybe needs another look at how to do that. Like, it's a little bit fussy, but it isn't as hard as that thing that we just did. Oh my God. In fact, one of the things I did live while we were at the West Coast Vape Expo for a couple who just bought one of these was I showed them how to re-wick it, and it's really not that bad. We've done that on the channel too. And I think I have a video, it's within the last 8 months about this thing. Yum. Yeah, and good flavor and easy. And it works as a single. That's another thing I really like about this RDA, is that this 0.15 coil works great on a single battery mod, like the wand, or I put this thing on my I'll show you where I use this thing almost all the time. This thing lives on my feed link. Lives here. This is the best setup if you have an 18650. Because an 18650 is the only size this comes in. I want this in a 2700. Michaela says that her puppies Neva and Preston say hugs and kisses to everybody. My dog Sadie is in there asleep. I gave her breakfast and walked her. And so she just goes, "Hey, Dad." And she wants to hang out next to Mom, basically. Yum. Thank you for watching iJoy's. I mean, what am I saying? Thank you for watching my iJoy rant about the SRDA instead of being focused on that terrible RDA that I don't like. I feel kind of bad sometimes because I'm easily distracted, and especially when I don't particularly love something, it's tough for me to like spend a lot of time on it on screen. It's not that hard for me to spend time on stuff I don't like in the real world, because I end up using it. If it doesn't work well, then I just don't use them. But if they work and I just don't like them, I always use them, so I know why. There's a stick. Cracker Cross says there's a stick that has a 21700 too. It's got a little thing too. And yeah, iJoy makes a saber too. And you know, here's the big thing. My little message. I was looking through my Instagram feed this morning, and I just thought to myself, all those people for the last like 18 months, almost 2 years, who have been telling me that I'm wrong about 2700s and 21700s. I want all those people to come tell me if I'm still wrong about these batteries. And there's only a lot more to come in this whole area. 21s are really now taking over. Everything needs to go to 21 as soon as possible. Oh man. But availability is hard. The people who've done the best at providing batteries are, I hate to say it, iJoy. Can I tell you that, another vote for that Marvec thing. I'm definitely going to look at that. I'm stoked about that. Ooh, I want to see it. 20 and 21700s for singles are the best. Marvec 100. I just want to make a note before I start talking about a bunch of other stuff. Sorry about this. Just so I can check that out when we're done. Okay. But singles running 20s and 21s are so killer. They're so great. Like I said, this little wand, if this were a squonker, wouldn't that be great? I mean, what about this? Where is it? I don't have my Geek Vape squonker on the desk, do I? I can't find it, but this would be cool if it had a little squonk thing on it. Wouldn't it? Like the Geek Vape squonker. or a 21700 version of this, which Aspire thinks they're too big or whatever, but someone needs to just copy this outright. Copy it. Yum. So let me check my time just to make sure that we're okay. Yep, we are doing fine. We have probably another 8 minutes or so to hang out. Yeah, I'm just reading what chat says here. Everybody can't stand selling the smock stuff. Yeah, I know. So it's so nice for everyone to show up this morning. What are you guys doing for Saturday? I have a ton of stuff to do. I'm going to make some phone calls, and then we have to go to a movie, and then we're having dinner, and tomorrow morning we're having dim sum with my brother. If you guys don't know, my brother is back in town after 10 years being gone, and so I'm so excited. I can really use a friend like that in town to have my brother. I miss him dearly. I'm going to start tearing up. I'm really sensitive. I love my brother so much. So I'm so glad he's here, and I can't wait to get into more arguments with him and yell and scream or whatever, and be brothers, because he and his husband are the best. They're great. So that's what I think about all the time lately, and just how stoked I am that he's nearby. I wonder if that'll wear off. I hope not. I love that feeling. I love the feeling that my brother's back in town. Makes me happy. This makes me happy. Okay. It's been 10 years. 10 years. Really miss him. How many times in 10 years did I think, man, I just wish Chris were here so I could talk to him. 10 years. Fumojana hanging out. Wife's on maternity leave, so he doesn't have to be a taxi driver for a little bit. That's cool. That's awesome. And happy to you for having a budding young little baby to hang out. Yeah, it would be cool to come to Miami. Cracker Coil says, Miami, you know, it'd be cool. I want to drive up to Blaine, Washington, which is the furthest northwest part in the Northwest, and then take a selfie and then get on a plane and come to Miami, which is the furthest southeast part of the U.S. Take another selfie and be like, look, big trip. That's a long way, too. It's like 5,500 miles. Something. Hey, there's JT Munn. Good morning. Good morning, sir. It's great to see you, too. We were just talking about singles and 21700s and how great they are for singles, especially single regulated boxes, because single regulated boxes, you have so much power at your disposal that you can easily get, you know, that dream 70, 75 watt long-term build out of a 21700. Like I have a mod that is 21700, and it's got a very efficient chip in it, and from Aspire, and it gets really good battery life on their half ohm coil. And I got really good battery life on this 2700 wand from iJoy that I stuck a diamond on, which if you guys haven't seen this, it just looks cool. My diamonds all have, oh, here's one. I was going to say my diamonds all have the straight glass on them, but here's one that has the bubble glass on it. And this is the one that came with the wand. And look how cool that looks. Really cool. And this is 0.15 on this coil, and I've vaped in it all day. It's a bypass mod, so you can feel the battery draining as the day goes by, but I just close the air up more and more, and it's good because it keeps up. So an 18650 really can't do that, not a 1. The diamond tank is loud, good flavor. Yeah, and look at that. There's tons. I mean, this is. I think this is a great setup. Really like that one. Oh, I'm just catching up with myself on the live stream there. And by the way, what was I disappointed in this week? Disappointed in my. Did I already tell you guys about this? That I was just not very excited about this. I think you were there when I got this, Kimberly, or maybe you weren't. No. I got this the next day, and I went and bought one of these from my good friend Kyle, who at Good Juice Vapes, which Kyle's great, and I don't like it. I don't like it that much. It's okay, but it just is kind of a certain look and only looks good with RDAs. It doesn't look good with tanks, and it does look sick, but I don't love it because the 30 amp limits on the 2700 batteries, and they improve the safety, so it really has no tolerance for doing series builds for anything that's under 0.3 or so, which I'm not complaining. I mean, that's a safety feature, and the Noisy Cricket 2 should have done that. So good on you, Wismac. But I don't love it as much because it just doesn't. It isn't the same feel. This is my Noisy Cricket 225, and just feel it's just perfect. It's just perfect. I wish they had just kept it. They should have just kept it exactly rounded off like this one. And I just think they should have kept it that way. Just my humble opinion. Because premiuming it up didn't really work for me. Yeah, and honestly, and I'm not going to lie, the way this looks had a lot to do with the reason I bought it. I saw those guys come up and they were holding them. I don't love how you can see the stripes underneath, but I don't hate it. You can see the frame, transparent. Maybe I love that actually. The switch kills it. They picked an ugly switch. Look at the glue. For the amount of money you spend, you shouldn't see an ugly switch and glue like that. But this thing is great. And what would I put on here if I were going to put something on here? Maybe I don't know, nothing really. I'll try one of the diamonds and see what it does. But you'll see how it doesn't really look that great with any tank. Oh, you guys tell me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that does look cool. I'm just a fool. Sorry about that. My software just crashed right to the desktop. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that does look cool. You tell me. It's working on series on this thing magically today. I don't know why. I'm on series at about 2 o'clock on the dial. Usually it says no. So that's another thing that makes me think like, okay, it's monitoring the resistance, and when it gets overvolted or feels like it's got too many amps or whatever, it decides to stop and blink. It might be a little too much. I don't know why it would say no though. Big clouds. Okay, that's our time. I love all you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters. Make sure you click like and subscribe. Come back with me on Instagram Live a little bit later. I got some stuff to do, but I'm going to be on there and we're going to hang out. And I just hope that you have a great day. This has been the VapeFly Wormhole RDA. Thanks to Heaven Gifts for saying that thing. Thanks to you for staying through the hangout. And I thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you.